Welcome back, Guardian. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to Remington and his clan Reversify and YouTubers for basically showing me what to do and carrying me along the raid with them last night. Those of you who follow my channel know that since year 2 I haven't really raided that much. I really just got burnt out in year 1, and there's really nothing in the raids that I've really wanted to have pretty much. So I can get the free chest by using the last wish and the code. So anyways, they told me how to do everything, and then we do the Scourge, and I get a threat level and a decent roll on the Fusion, and then we do the last wish after that, and voila, I get the 1K. So I was like, alright, that's pretty sick. So I wanted to test it against my old friend, the Sleepless Field Prep Cluster Alloy Casing Quick Launch, and see if it could take its spot. So the first thing I did was I go do strikes. I want to see kind of how its speed clears, see how fast it is basically, and of course it does work. It's really handy against yellow bar ads especially. That's kind of just where it shines, and the blast radius on the explosion, the delayed explosion, is pretty nice, so really beast there. After that I was like, okay, it's pretty decent, let's take it inside Gambit. I wanted to see what it was like to do boss damage versus Sleepless. So I did Sleepless first. I did nothing but rockets, and the first thing that I noticed with Sleepless is it's really easy to get max rockets, or pretty close to max rockets, by using the taken armaments, just by grenading the ads in the wizard phase before the actual boss fight. And it's really easy to get 6 to 7 rockets there, and what I found was it takes 5 waves to down it with rockets. If you're just shooting rockets, no primary, nothing else, just shooting nothing but rockets, takes 5 waves. So after I found that out, I decided to do that same test and then put it up against the 1K. So 1 purple brick gives you 2 shots, but taken armaments only gives you 1 shot. I don't know if that will increase if you do a lot of fusion reserves. I know that the stock amount you can hold is 7, and then if you have a fusion reserve on, you can hold 8. So if you had 2 fusions on, you might get 2. So you could kind of maybe build for this, but it was really hard for me to max my ammo out with taken armaments. And if you're with a fast playing squad, you'd be lucky to get 1 or 2 shots basically with taken armaments before the boss phase. So that was one thing I immediately noticed, but I was like, again, it's not really that big of a deal because 1 shot of 1K equals about 1 3/4 rocket shot. So that kind of will balance it out. 2 rockets equals 1 1K kind of. And I'll show you the damage phase right here. This is the first phase. I had 6 shots. I could have held 7, but it was a struggle just to get that much taken armaments to proc for me, trying to charge the grenade, and I'm using the recharge buff from the Revelry. So when that's going to be gone, it's going to be even tougher. You got to make sure you get those guaranteed yellow bar kills to recharge your grenade back, just to hit the taken armaments again. So that's something that I had to factor in. Is it going to be worth taking away Sleepless if I can't get the ammo? Even though it does hit a lot, is it going to be enough? So after I did that, I realized it takes 4 waves to down bosses with 1K, 5 to down it with the Sleepless. So it's a 1 wave difference. But does that make it a better gun than Sleepless? And that was what I wanted to find out next. If I can save time with Sleepless clearing ads faster than what that 1 wave saved is by getting to the boss, does it really make 1K better? So the next test I wanted to do was speed clearing with 1K to kind of see what that experience is like, to see if it had any limitations, and if it does have limitations, what are they compared to Sleepless that may make or break the replacement of Sleepless. So let's talk about that. There's really only 2 rules to follow when wielding 1K, and that is rule number 1, leave yourself with enough room between you and enemies so that you're not hit with nearly as many shots, because you're going to get hit if you jump in the middle of a crowd and try to charge it. Man, it's 1,000 charge rate. So another thing is, watch out for objects and its blast radius on the delayed explosion, because it'll kill you if you're too close. That was one of the first things that I had happen to me. I jumped right in the middle of a wave and started trying to go to work with it and blew myself up. If enemies are behind walls, you can actually blow them up like that. You can shoot it near the enemy, and the blast radius of the explosion will pretty much get an orange and red bar easily. But shielded targets, this is where I had a little bit of an issue with it. I noticed that it doesn't kill them right away like it does when you're shooting it at non-shielded enemies like this situation. That's a beast situation to have, kind of like a rocket, but you also got to think how rockets are immediate blast, and this one has that slow charge and the delayed explosion that you have to keep in mind. So I'm not totally convinced that it's going to replace Sleepless at this point of me testing it out. If you hit a grenade on a yellow bar, it'll automatically take them out with that first shot, but if you don't mark them with a grenade or another weapon first, it'll take 2 shots to kill them. If you do a shielded target like that, it's hard to keep all the ray, or the one ray, on that one target to make sure that all the delayed explosions hit it, because the handling on that gun is really just trash. It's not that great at all. And it goes back to, again, when you jump into the middle of a crowd and try to wield it, it becomes a little bit out of hand. It's almost like you just can't do anything with it at that point. You just kind of have to like pray to God that it's about to go exactly where you want it to go while you try to charge it and swing it around. Like, luckily I'm hitting these shots, but right here I'm just kind of like whatever with it, and hopefully it kills somebody with the delayed explosion. Then I accidentally blow myself up with it. So you just kind of have to change the way that you fight with it if you're trying to main this type weapon. And crowds like this, same with a rocket, but a rocket will take them out faster because you don't have to wait on that charge rate and then the delayed explosive to finally kill them. You see it took that 2 shots right there to kill him because I didn't mark him. And it's just a different style of fighting with this gun. You really have to go from really fast with your energy and your primary to really reserved once you pull 1K out. It's got to be a very timely shot and really focused shot to really get the work that you want out of it. And that's something that I really don't know. Like, a rocket would have killed these guys right here, no problem, but it left that one out because I couldn't swing it enough with the handling. So as far as the 1K's limitations, here's another situation where the charge rate and the accuracy handling is just way too slow to pull these type of shots off. They can actually keep you alive. Those ads in the background where I'm throwing the grenades to, a rocket would have no doubt taken all of them out, and it would have prevented me from having to pop my super here in just a second. Hit the one guy with the shield, doesn't bust him. So it's the limitations of 1K are really in the spots where I don't like them to be. And I think that's one of the reasons that I don't want to use it in place of Sleepless, because those ads right there would have instantly been dead, but the charge rate's way too slow for me to even try to take a stab at them. And then I end up dying because I just, I have to move around way too much to try to focus my shot with 1K, and I don't have to do that. I have more freedom with the Sleepless, where I can just throw that off, knock any ad out of the way, and then focus on my main target, basically, and rain rockets and abilities on top of it with them, Another situation where, it's just, it didn't take them all out when the rocket would have. Takes 2 shots, 1 to mark them, 1 to kill them. Same with the rocket though. Rocket would have done the exact same thing. So it's kind of where I'm at with it. 1K is great. I think I'll use it on bosses. Maybe I'll switch to it on boss phase in Gambit Prime. I'll use it as maybe like a cheese weapon on Nightfalls. I'll use it as a raid main on bosses. Just tons of things like that, It'll all be situational when I do use it, but as far as me maining it, it's not going to be a main weapon. I think it would be a great idea for somebody on the team to have one, but if your main job is Reaper and clearing ads fast, I think the freedom of rockets gets you to the boss way quicker than 1K can do. Even if you're stuck by a half second on a yellow bar because you had a rocket instead of 1K, you're saving so much time and increasing your survival rate to be able to blast ads out of the way real fast, or at least stagger them out of the way. There's a lot of different options you have with rockets that 1K can't do this fast. 1K can do these type things, but not as fast, and that's the difference, and that's where I need it. I need it for the speed and precision, and not the lack of handling. But for invaders, I could see this gun being really beast for Gambit invaders. But these shots like I'm doing right here, reaping all day with this rocket. And the reload speeds were great on it. It's just more fluent, you know what I mean? You don't have to feel like so focused. You can just throw these things out at, around enemies with more range and precision. That's really what it's about. And mix it with your abilities on top of that, and you don't have that nearly high of a risk of being up close and blowing yourself up. I felt like I would blow myself up way more than 1K than I do with rockets, even though I am known to blow myself up with rockets quite a bit. I think if I kept using 1K, I would keep killing myself with it, or doing accidentally dumb shots, that weren't my fault. It's just like trying to handle it in those fast-paced CQC situations or whatever. Just, I don't know, man. Sleepless is just that good. These type options when you're flying through the air, throw a rocket out. 1K can't do that because it's limited to being on the ground only. Grenades and rockets. I'm gonna miss the revelry, to be honest. These recharge rates are pretty nice. Right there, that situation, just knock all of them out. Finish him off by marking him. I'm surprised the rocket didn't mark him, but So I think that you're going to save more time here to get to the boss than that one wave 1k would give me. But I don't think you shouldn't have 1k on the team somewhere. It just shouldn't be on your main Reaper and your main ad clear on that team. And that's my thoughts about 1k, bros. Let me know what you think in the comments. 1k is a beast gun, but so is Sleepless in a lot of other ways. Y'all take it easy, dudes. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch y'all next time.
In space.